Salarah Starre is a UK-based advanced law of attraction teacher trainer, coach, public speaker, and leading wellness expert. She will share life-changing wisdom about the law of attraction and how you can use this powerful universal law to build a foundation for bigger and bolder manifesting results. It is time to create the life you deserve, and with Salarah's help, you will.
And a very, very warm welcome to you once again to Manifesting Made Easy with myself, Salarah Starre, connecting with you all the way from the glorious, wet, windy, sometimes sunny United Kingdom. I say that because today it was absolutely blowing a hoolie. I don't know if you use that term wherever you are listening in the world, but basically we left the house and it was nice and sunny, and then by the time we got home, literally like drowned rats. So that's what we're blessed with here in the UK. But actually, that leads me on to a really good point. If it's stormy wherever you are in the world, really embrace that, because that's when our manifesting becomes even more powerful. So I used to, not really like a storm. I didn't like the loud bangs and the thunders and the bolts of lightning. But now when I look at a storm, I think, right, it's magic pant time. How can I do my manifesting, my visualization? Because everything is increased tenfold under those kind of weather conditions. So last show we spoke about what the true meaning of life really is, or shall I say what the ultimate goal in life is. And we also spoke about a really lovely fun and uplifting game which is designed to help you raise your vibrations tenfold. So let me know how you found that. Once again, thank you to those that reached out with wonderful feedback. It is nice to know that these recordings are reaching right to your heart wherever you might be in the world, and my intention is to share wisdom with you to help you in your journey with manifesting, so that you can become true, powerful master manifestors that can create long-term, deep, sustainable fulfillment. And I think that's exactly what we all need right now. I thought what I would do today is share with you a really beautiful goal setting process. It is absolutely important for us to be able to put our destination into our own internal satellite navigation system. Otherwise, we just end up creating a journey with no real destination in mind, getting frustrated because we may reach dead ends or going round in circles. So when we have a process that can help us to define our goals, what it is that we absolutely want, and a step-by-step process in order to help us get there, that's when the magic really starts to happen. Now, some teachings of the law of attraction have given the impression that all you need to do is just set your intention, focus on what you desire, light a couple of candles and some incense sticks, and everything you want will just come flying to you like magic. Now, I wish that this was true. And yes, I did try and test it because I absolutely believed that that's what would happen. And I absolutely believed that I'd have $1 million check coming out of the ceiling of my bedroom and floating down onto my lap, because that's the impression that these teachings gave me. I thought, wow, this is amazing. So it gives you the impression you don't need to do anything other than sit on your bed, or in my case, so sit on the sofa, in my case, on your bed, and just wait for your life to change. That's not going to happen. Remember, in our earlier podcasts, we discussed the law of responsibility and how we cannot change what's happened to us, but we can change what happens going forward. And, unfortunately, it isn't just as simple as just sitting on your bed or the sofa and just waiting for life to change. The law of attraction is not about enabling us to become lazy. It's not about enabling us to become greedy. It's about proactive steps every single day in the direction of what it is that you desire. So this means becoming a co-creator with the universe, and that is when the magic absolutely happens. So before setting your goals, it is important to set yourself up to stay motivated in the process, because many of us may lose sight of it, get into good habits for a week, and then, stop kind of taking the steps that are important in order for our goal to manifest. So it is important to set yourself up to stay focused. because we do need to have that kind of motivation in life to accomplish anything. Otherwise, nothing will be accomplished, right? But in order to be motivated, it is important to know exactly what it is that we want. And of course, be willing to take the steps, fun, easy steps, in order to get there, because it really doesn't have to be hard work. It can be an absolutely beautiful journey. So instead of looking at your to-do list, you can change that as it's your list to get to-do list, and this makes it more of a choice, more exciting, and that's what we want with the law of attraction. So if you have a to-do list, put get at the front of the to-do, and you'll notice how different that energy field feels. And as Oprah Winfrey says, all you need to do is just take one step. That's all you need to do. You don't have to worry about the bigger picture. That will absolutely take care of itself when you take one step every day towards your goal. And 365 days from now, you'll notice that your reality looks very different to what it does now, with that kind of focus and showing up for yourself. So in order to be motivated, like I said, we need to know exactly what it is that we want. Some people say to me, well, I don't know what it is that I want. Okay, but when I say to them, right, well, what don't you want? They reel off this massive long list. Well, you know what? I don't want my husband to leave his socks around anymore. I don't want to be spending my days feeling empty and alone. I don't want to be working a job that absolutely robs me of my soul. And they literally reel it off, this huge long list. So we absolutely know what we don't want. And what we do want is actually just the opposite of that. You know, I'd like a nice tidy house. I would like to be surrounded by like-minded people and go to wonderful socializing events. I want a job that makes me feel uplifted, that leaves me feeling fulfilled at the end of each day. So if you're not sure what it is that you want to manifest, you can then just look at what it is that you don't want, choose one of those things, and then focus on that as your goal. So, and sometimes as well, if we don't feel motivated enough to take action, it could also mean that either what we desire is not really that important to us. You know, so you can ask yourself, is this something that I think I desire, I don't really feel motivated to take action on? I remember working with a lady, and we'd set up the 6-week program over 3 months, where we decide on a specific goal, and then by the end of that 6 weeks, we're either there, or depending on how big the goal is, we've reached massive milestones. And it was on session 4 that she said to me, she said, you know what, something has occurred to me. And I was like, well, what is that? She said, this isn't something that I want. It's something that I felt that I should do. And I found that really interesting, because the word should is one of the most damaging words in the whole of the English language. So in past podcasts, you would have heard me speaking a bit about that. I'm going to go into some of the deadly words in later podcasts, which I highly recommend you eliminate forthwith, because they lower your vibrations without you even knowing about it. So we've got to decide whether the desire is something that we truly want, or whether it's something that we think we should want. Now, it could also be the reason why we think we should want it is because that's what society tells us we should be doing, or that's what we feel our parents want us to do. Sometimes our parents like to live vicariously through us, and we end up following a pathway that was never really ours in the first place. And that's really important, to tune in to your goal and ask yourself, is this my goal? Is this something that I absolutely want? And when I give you information on the goal setting process, you'll have an opportunity to work through some very, very powerful coaching questions to help you really decide and hone in on what it is that you want. Some of us might procrastinate on whether the time is right. Of course, when it comes to our goals, the time is always right. And sometimes the procrastination could be more to do with fear of failure, worrying what other people might think of us. So have a look into your procrastination. Where is that really coming from? What is the cause of the procrastination if you were to peel away the layers of excuses? And again, this is really important, because we can't create what it is that we desire if we're putting loads of obstacles in our way and sabotaging ourselves. So when it comes to something that lights you up and makes you feel good about yourself, know that the time is absolutely right, and it's right now. But we're also going to be going through the why behind goals. Now, this is probably one of the most important parts, because this is where when we inquire as to why we want something, we start to really activate the energy of the law of attraction, really get into the feeling of our goals and desires. And that's when our magic wand truly starts to ignite. So focusing on the why, well, why is it that I want this? How will that help me? Again, like I say, I'm going to give you some information on a very, very powerful goal setting process at the end of this podcast today. So keep an eye out for that, because that's something that's going to be an additional resource to help you to reach your destination. But like I said, setting goals is similar to putting a postcode or a zip code into your own internal satellite navigation system. Now, this will guide you to where it is that you want to go in the quickest and easiest way. So it's a real time saver. It stops those dead ends and going round in circles on those roundabouts. And having no goals, having no focus, having no intention means that you could potentially fumble your way through life and just stay stuck, I guess, in your own current routine, going round and round in circles, doing the same old things day in, day out. So you can't get there unless you're clear about where it is that you want to go. And when you have a meaningful goal, something that's very, very important to you, and clear steps in order to get there, you can start doing all the things necessary to help you then accomplish them. So it's also important to take into account all areas of your life. So asking yourself, by me having this, what impact is that going to have on others? Because the law of attraction isn't about self-gain and being selfish. It's looking at how, by me having this manifestation, is this going to change my life, but change the life of all the people around me? And how is this going to make a massive difference in this world? That takes us from mediocre manifesting into what I call master manifestation. And that's where we want to be, because that's where it's fun, it's easy, everything flows, and what we want comes to us with ease and grace. But also in this space, we understand that if something doesn't come, it's not because the universe doesn't want to give it to us, it's because the universe has something much better for us. Okay, so that's very, very important for you to understand that side of things. And remember, like I said earlier, all you need to do is just take the next step. And all these little steps, which we can call short-term goals, then add up to help you to accomplish whatever it is your big goal is. So say, for example, one of your goals is buying a house. You have to have lots of little tiny steps in order to take in order to make the big goal happen. So it's about learning to break down goals in order to make it feel a bit more palatable. So imagine if I made you the most beautiful scrummy cake and I said to you, right, eat that whole thing in one mouthful. You're going to kind of look at me like I'm a bit weird, but also it's going to be a bit overwhelming. There's just no way that that's going to happen. So you're more than likely going to just walk away from the cake, unless you say to me, well, what about if I could take a slice and just take it one bite at a time? That is absolutely similar or the same as setting our goals. Okay, so the goal setting is something you want to be able to set some time aside for. This is something not to be rushed. This is something that you can do once you've taken in a few deep breaths and really connected to your heart center. Many of us try and manifest from the head space. Usually that space is coming from either fear or desperation or worry or greed in some way or another. And it is important to move into your heart space, into your feeling body, into your emotions, where, of course, that's where manifesting is more powerful. Because remember, feeling first, manifestation second, as Andy Dooley says. So by taking this time to have this sacred ceremony with yourself and to rewrite the next chapter of your life, this is a very, very powerful process. So like I said, I'm going to give you access to a resource that you can print down from home or just use the PDF as a guidance for you. And I'm going to pop the link for you to be able to access that in the show description. And also I'm going to put in the show description how you can connect with me on Facebook, on my Become a Master Manifestor Facebook group. I highly recommend it. We have some beautiful free lives that go on in that group. The last one was with my Kabbalistic teacher, Yehuda Goldfeiner, and we spoke about the dark side of manifesting. I highly recommend that because it's very, very important information in order to set strong, solid foundations so that you're manifesting and be an enjoyable and fun process rather than feeling like it's hard work, worrying if you're getting it wrong. So please click on the Become a Mother Manifestor Facebook link underneath here. And then if you scroll down in the group, you'll find my live with Yehuda. So let me know how you find that. And of course, I'm going to put information about the free downloadable PDF there as well for your goal setting, which accompanies this session today. And it would be wonderful if you can follow me on Instagram as well. So I would absolutely love to connect with you. And when you connect, let me know where you've come from, and tell me a little bit about yourself. I'd love to get to know you a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through a 9-step checklist on setting and achieving your goals. But like I say, you're going to have this beautiful PDF that's going to accompany that for you. So step number 1 is to decide what it is that you want and to be really clear on it as well. What is it that you want to create? What is it that you want to achieve? Is it that you want to manifest a new job, a new house, a new car, a new relationship? I suggest you only focus on one just for the purpose of this particular goal setting exercise, just so that you can get used to the process and really embody yourself into the process rather than diluting it. And then what I'd like you to do is, once you're clear on that, come up with a really nice, fun and uplifting name for it. Instead of it just being boring, like, buy house, new home, this is kind of like Operation Dream Home. If you're looking to get slimmer, which I was working with a lady who wanted to get slimmer for her wedding, she called it Operation Suns Out, Guns Out. And I was like, oh my God, I love that. And somebody else that I was working with wanted to move their son to a new house, and there was loads of complications. So she called hers Operation Smooth Move. So come up with a fun and uplifting name. You're more likely to show up for yourself if the process is fun and it is easy. And then what I'd like you to do is just ponder, write a list of all the things that you have already done to achieve your goal. Well, what is it that I've already done? If you're listening to this recording and you don't to download the PDF or anything, just pause in between this, the questions that I ask, and then you can just spend a little bit of time journaling. So what have you already done to achieve your goal? So say, for example, the lady who wanted to get slimmer for her wedding, she had already set out meal plans for herself. She had contacted me for one-to-one coaching because she realized that there were deeper emotional wounds that were stopping her from achieving what she wanted to achieve. So she wrote that down too. Now, it doesn't matter if you haven't got anything to write down yet. This is the start of a journey. But it is important to list the things as you go, because reaching our goals is a little bit like climbing a ladder. And you may find you've already climbed 5 rungs of the ladder, in which case you can celebrate and you ask yourself, right, what are the next few steps to take? And then, of course, step number 4 is to check in that this is actually something that you really want. Check in with, is this something that you think you should do? Is this somebody else's goal, or is this your goal? Once you've checked in, you go, actually, no, this is totally my goal. Then you're going to be like, right, okay, I'm really ready to move forward now. And then what's important is to create a very clear mental image of your goal. Now, some people do actually struggle to visualize, but it doesn't matter as long as you use some of your other senses, because even if we can't necessarily see what we want in our mind's eye, we can definitely tune into, well, what would we hear? What would we be thinking? What would we be feeling? What would we be smelling? So we have all these other senses that we can use along the way. So what I'd like you to do then is to take time to imagine your life having already achieved this goal. So you've jumped into the timeline of what it is that you desire. You've achieved it. You're right there right now. And then tune into everything that you see. Notice what you see all around you in your desired manifestation having already come to fruition. Notice what you will hear. Be the sound of champagne cork popping as people celebrate your successes, or it could be you hearing people complimenting you, telling you how good you look. It could be the thoughts that you think in your own head, wow, I did this, thank you, universe, having that deep sense of gratitude. And notice what you feel. Now, these are so important when it comes to calibrating yourself energetically in order to raise yourself to the vibration of what it is that you want to experience. So getting into as much of these sensory details as as possible is absolutely going to be your best friend. And then, of course, what can you smell? You may not be able to smell anything, but it is important. Like, say, for example, you wanting to manifest the greatest love of your life, and as you're snuggling into their neck, you may smell their aftershave or their perfume or their natural scent. So again, take this bit as seriously as you can without straining. Of course, straining closes us down. So just enjoying the process. So dedicate your practice to enjoyment and fun. And then step number 6 will be then, now that you've calibrated fully to it, you've been there, you've jumped into that timeline, you've seen what it is that you want to see and experience, I want you to write down 3 things that you will see physically once you have achieved your goal. So these are tangible things. These aren't feelings. Well, actually, I'm just going to feel really good. I'm going to feel really excited. It's great that you're going to feel those things, but I want tangible things. So, for example, the lady getting married. Well, what can I see? I can see myself in the mirror, in the wedding dress, fitting me perfectly. Somebody wants to manifest their great love relationship. What can you see? I can see text messages saying, I love you, you look beautiful. I can see him or her in my living room. And what tangible things? I really want you to calibrate into this, because actually this is some of the most important steps in manifesting, is being able to clearly visualize it. So say, for example, when I wanted to get my law of attraction teacher training fully accredited, I took myself into that future timeline, and then I was like, well, what 3 things will help me know that I have this accredited? Well, 1 would be the accreditation certificate in my hand. Number 2, these beautiful manuals, looking absolutely stunning in my hand, and actually having physical clients signing up and email notifications of them signing up for the course. So 3 tangible things, really, really important. You don't have to limit yourself to 3, by the way, but 3 to start with. And then, of course, staying in that zone of your future self, that part of you that's jumped timelines, it's almost like I want you to imagine interviewing your future self. So sitting down with a pen and paper and asking that part of you the exact steps that were taken in order to achieve the goal. So when I jumped timelines, it's like, right, well, I laid out all the modules from module 1 to module 8. I then set specific time in my diary to make sure that I have time to absolutely focus on what it is that I want to do. And then I contacted the relevant parties to ask what was needed in order to get it fully accredited. So once I interviewed my future self, I had very, very clear steps of what to do in order to move to the next part of the process. And it felt so good. And then as you complete an action, you can then add it to the rungs of the ladder that we spoke about. So the action that you've already taken before you then move on to your next one. And it feels so good. You'll have an increased sense of self-esteem, increased confidence. You know, so many people say to me in my coaching practice, well, I just want to be confident. And when I'm confident, I will. And it's like, well, actually, we've got to kind of like take the action steps, and then the confidence will grow. It kind of seems a bit counterintuitive. So through this, your confidence will absolutely grow. Okay, and you'll be well on your way to achieving your goals and your dreams. So remember, this is about having fun. And just do your best to describe some of these steps in measurable results. And I would absolutely love for you to share some of this with me, what your goal is, what your fun and uplifting name is, what steps you've taken, what steps you want to take. And you'll notice that on the PDF that I will be sending you the link for, there's also going to be an opportunity for you to look at how, if you were to sabotage yourself, how you might do that. Because it's really important. It's a bit like the Bible says, know thyself. I absolutely needed to know I don't want to call them weaknesses because they're never weaknesses, but just for the purpose of this, you know, the parts of me that were sabotaging me in order to get what I wanted to get to. So I looked at, if I was going to sabotage myself, how was I going to do that? I was like, well, actually, I would probably procrastinate. I wouldn't set clear boundaries with those around me. Okay, well, what measures can I put in place then to stop that from happening? Well, I can definitely set up the clear boundaries with those around me, and I can just become more action orientated. Rather than procrastinating, I can set myself specific times in order to get the work done. And I found that that was so useful, and it meant that I ended up creating a phenomenal Law of Attraction teacher training manual, which, like I said, is fully accredited with the Federation of Holistic Therapists. So if you would like to become a Law of Attraction teacher, fully accredited, of course, I can then pop the link in here too. So have a little look. You may want to just hop on a discovery call, because there are prerequisites for that, but I would absolutely love to hop on a call, have a cuppa, and discuss it a little bit further with you. And then the final thing is, once you have achieved your goals, is to then fast forward yourself as much as you can into your future. So this is where you can do daily visualizations that can help you to achieve your goals. So I do have an Activate Your Master Manifestor free visualization. So what I'll do is I'll pop those in the show notes as well. I'm just writing that down just to make sure that I remember. So I'll pop the link to that. So it is signing up to my newsletter, but once you've signed up to that, you will then get a downloadable link via Dropbox for the Activate Your Master Manifestor free guided visualization. Okay, so wow, gosh, I feel like we've covered a huge amount today. Like I said, I'd absolutely love to hear how you get on with this. I trust that this process will help you to move forward. It's really important that we take positive, proactive steps towards our goals, and we absolutely deserve it as well. We deserve the love and the care, the time, the dedication and attention that we give to ourselves in order for us to manifest our dreams. Okay, so that's the end of the show for today. Sending you lots and lots of love wherever you are in the world. Happy manifesting. Make sure you keep those magic pants firmly on, and I will chat with you super soon. All right, take care for now.
Thanks for listening. Salarah Starre will be back next week with great insights into the law of attraction. In the meantime, please visit salarahstarre.com.